Om Tat Sat, Ashutosh, welcome to lovely people. Today we will talk about Lord Ganesha and how people can access his sadhana and his grace. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. I want to ask you about this. That in Hinduism, we always say that begin any sadhana or any task after taking the blessings of Lord Ganesh. Why is it so? And how did you connect with Lord Ganesha when you were a child? And now, as a graduate student,
Right, interesting question. So, answering your first part, there are a couple of stories mentioned in the Puranic texts around why is he given the first place or why is he called the destroyer of obstacles. What I have understood is we consider Lord Ganesha to be very wise, to be this god of knowledge. If we look at it from a worldly perspective, we require practical knowledge and skills and wisdom before starting any endeavor or anything that we want to do. Because if we have the proper guidance, proper knowledge of the things we want to accomplish, there is minimal chances of us messing that up. If we compare that with Ganesh ji being considered one of the most auspicious gods in Hinduism and this remover of obstacles, I feel that it goes hand in hand with the practical understanding of how wisdom is important and crucial. It just lays an emphasis on the detail in Hinduism, and also generally bachpan mein my understanding of Ganesh ji was just like any other kid would have, like watching him in cartoons, this jolly, funny, cute little child of Shivji who will always play around and trouble everybody in the Kailash. His movies were one of my favorites, and I was very fond of watching them. But as I developed understanding of what really Ganesh ji is, although Ganesh ji is not my Ishta Devata, but he has also played a significant role in sort of my evolution through my journey. And also I feel that in every sampradaya, across traditions, across lineages, Lord Ganesha seems to be one of the stepping stones in sadhana. In my life, it's a more of a relationship that I have with him. Other people might have different experiences, but mine is very simple. I look at him as an extension of my Ishta Devata, which is based on the principle of oneness in Hinduism. His presence has always sort of given me this warmth, this comforting environment. Also during my sadhana, whenever I feel that there's a lot on my mind, my body is a bit stiff, I'm not that relaxed. These are all the things that are not good for a sadhana, and sometimes these things can also put you off sadhana as well, and also become a problem in your consistency. I have seen that Lord Ganesha's presence and his mantras also have this effect. It calms down, it sort of makes you a bit light, makes you feel that warmth, you feel at home. Saying a mantra two, three times is different, but having proper visualization, having that hold on him, hold on the essence that Ganesh ji is, I feel that it has been a game changer throughout my journey in doing various sadhanas. So, yeah, I would also like to ask you, how has your experience been throughout various sadhanas and generally with the sadhana of Ganesh ji, and how have you chosen to do it in your life?
okay, thank you for the question, Ashutosh. By the way, I'm not born in a family which knows a lot about Sanatana Dharma, just like most of the Hindu families. They just see something on the internet and hence they know a little bit now. I was raised, I grew up in this family without knowing much about my own religion. When I used to see students, of other religions, they had a very proper way of worshipping or some sort of ritual that they followed. Maybe once in the entire week, they would go somewhere or maybe pray in a systematic manner. And that was what I saw was missing in the Hindu families. And the Hindus, they themselves were very apologetic that they would say, oh, हाँ हम मानते तो हैं भगवान को, बस मंदिरों में नहीं जाते. Quite apologetic. And I never understood why. Why was it being considered something of a bygone era? When I used to see the difference, one Hindu would say something, the other Hindu would say the other thing. Yeah, the beauty is that we assimilate many things. That is the beauty. But in the end of the day, you have to anchor yourself around something. To anchor myself, I started with Devi, but suddenly something happened which brought me towards Ganesha. I understood that Ganesha's presence is very, very important. You do any kind of sadhana, it always has to start with Lord Ganesha, even the Devi sadhana. One thing that I use for almost all of my sadhana is Sadhana App. And I have done Ganesh sadhana from the Sadhana App itself. It is a Mansik sadhana. I seriously, with all devotion, did Ganesh sadhana around a year or 1.5 years back. At that time, I didn't have any major dream or something significant going around, but I did the sadhana. Maybe 1 or 2 months back, I had a very beautiful experience of Lord Ganesha. So I have this habit that whenever I wake up in the morning, I will sit for a few minutes and I will meditate on my Ishta, who's Devi. But that one day, when I tried to visualize Devi's presence in front of me, suddenly I saw an image of Lord Ganesh. I again tried to push my mind again to focus on Devi, but again Lord Ganesha appeared. And then I thought, okay, I will just go ahead with Lord Ganesha. Maybe this day is meant to go ahead with Sri Ganesha's blessing. And I started visualizing Lord Ganesha. And then I started offering him Shringar in my visualization, in my meditation. I offered him tika, anklets, kangan, mala, flowers, mukut, like whatever I could. I understood that I need to give it to the divine. I gave it, but suddenly I forgot. Being Hindus, we have seen Lord Ganesha's image countless times. Now, at that point, in middle of the visualization, I forgot what Lord Ganesha holds in his forearms. I suddenly forgot. And I was like, Ganeshji, I'm not able to remember what you hold in your hands. So I will just simply hand over certain things to you, whichever I think will suit you. So in one of his arms, I handed over Rudrakshmala. Then I handed to him Kamandalu. Then a little wooden thing to write with and some scriptures. In the four arms, I handed these things to him. And when I did this, then suddenly I remembered, oh, Bhagwan Ganesh loves laddus. Then I offered a bowl of laddus and we kept it in front of him. In my visualization, this beautiful Lord Ganesha in white color was looking so pretty, so heartwarming. It felt complete. It didn't feel as if I'm consciously doing it. Yes, me giving the ayudhas to Lord Ganesha, it was a conscious decision in the visualization process. But the way his presence was so beautiful, so shiny, so glowing, it was outwardly. And suddenly, I don't know why, the visualization stops. And something just pushes me to open my eyes. And I feel very cool in my head as if Lord Ganesha himself had blessed me.
Mhm.
And I was surprised that I never saw Lord Ganesha like this. I don't know the Swarupa of Lord Ganesha where he is holding these ayudhas. Then I quickly, scroll through the phone and try to find and Google it and search it in the internet. And then I come across the Chappan Vinayak of Kashi. 56 forms of Lord Vinayak. There is this mention Dvija Ganpati. And I saw that picture and I was really astonished that the ayudhas that I had offered to him in my visualization, it matched with that picture. I didn't know about Dvija Ganpati, but here Ganeshji blessed me with his vision in my visualization process about which I didn't even know. I did that sadhana like 1.5 years back. But Lord Ganesha showed his presence in a very beautiful way. When we do sadhana, when we are consistent in our effort, it may or may not show in the process while we are doing it, but eventually the divine does show the presence in our lives. So this is how Lord Ganesha's beautiful blessings were showered on me. This is one of the incidents. Of course, Lord is great and He's always there, 101%.
Also, I would like to add something for people wondering what a Dvija is. So, Dvija is basically a word for the one who is born again. People who have their Upanayana Sanskar done, they are called Dvijas, which means that okay, now you have a new life, so you are born again. And also, Dvija Ganpati is somebody that like portrayed as the best teacher, which also goes in line with the understanding of what a teacher does to you, which is help you evolve and guide you on a journey. Lord Ganesha's presence has been miraculous and life changing for a lot of people around me, and you can also find it on the internet. Ganpati's worship also helps people who are really confused about choosing their Ishta Devata. It's really advised in the scriptures as well, and I have seen this working with people as well. And also, Didi, I would like to ask you that you mentioned Sadhana app. I would like to know more about it. And also, Sadhana app, as you mentioned, is this Manasik Sadhana, a Manasik group of worship. But some people would say it's not that effective. So I would just like to share your experience about it.
Sadhana app provides access to various sadhanas which was till now kept in secret. Many people of various sampradayas had kept sadhanas secret, often keeping certain sadhana only limited to certain castes. Now, Sadhana app, I'll say, is like a boon to the new age people. This is a 100% free app. You can donate if you wish to. All you need to have a device, either a phone or your iPad, your tablet, whatever it is. Use your phone, play the app, sit down on an asan, and do manasik sadhana. That is doing sadhana in the mind. The point is that even if people do sadhana in the physical form, right? Offering the real ghee or offering real prasad, which is really very good. I'm not denying it. But if somebody is all in his mind while doing that ritual, in his mind, tangled in the office politics, is not present in that particular ritual, it doesn't make any difference. If you really want some difference, you need to be devoted and need to give it time. And in today's world, things are not easy to source in every place. So rather have this app, 100% free app, and give some time to it. You can access Havan here, Abhishekam, Nitya Puja, Mantra Japa. You can also access full-fledged sadhanas, that which the sages have done in the caves of the Himalayas. Since you have the sadhana app now, your room is your cave. You can sit on your asan, face east, and start doing it. And the best part is, there are rituals provided to be done for only 1 minute. It's okay, you can do it. Like mantra japa, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You can do it for just as little as 1 minute. You can use that app for it. And if you want to do a full-fledged sadhana, like I did the Ganesh sadhana for 11 days. There are 3 sadhanas given. I did one of them for 11 days. And when I use Sadhana app, I do not restrict myself that if I'm on my periods, I will not use it. Personally, it doesn't make sense to me. I've had some people telling me that how when you do certain rituals, your energy is rising up, but when you're on your periods, your energy is going down, and then suddenly there's a clash of energies. I don't understand that. Okay, my experiences, I did not leave or stop doing sadhana even during my periods. And I have seen the result just like I told you, right? I saw Dvija Ganpati in the visualization when I didn't even know him. So with the Sadhana app, you can definitely do it. I'll say you can also go to your temples even when you're on a basis. Nobody's going to harm you. And divine is way greater, far greater than our own limited understanding of things. There was this question that I wanted to ask you, Ashutosh, that when you described Dvija Ganpati, you also said about Upanayana Sanskar. My very first question is, people associate Upanayana Sanskar or wearing a Janeu or a sacred thread with the Brahmin community. So is that true? And what is your experience with Upanayana Sanskar?
So this is quite an important question. I myself am not from a Brahmin family and I got my Upanayana done. Nobody asked me anything. I went to the temple and I asked the priest that I want to get this done and he guided me and we went through the whole process. One of my mentors told me that before Upanayana, you start at ground zero. And when you have your Upanayana done, you are born again. And then you start a journey into the spiritual world of Sanatana Dharma. It has nothing to do what your name is, what the color of your skin is, what your financial situation is, what your caste is. It does not matter. Anybody who wants to get their Upanayana Sanskar done can get that done. But I feel experiencing it almost been 3 years that I have got my Upanayana Sanskar done hardly makes a difference. Obviously, it makes you more disciplined because you have this thread which makes you remember that okay, there are certain principles that you have to live by now that you have got this done. But it's not necessary to start a sadhana. If people want to start a sadhana, irrespective of where they're born, they can download the app. Even if they're not from Sanatana Dharma, if they are following any other religion or anything, any tradition, they can still use the Sadhana app. As you said rightly, Didi, that Sadhana app has these versatile timings of 1 minute, 2 minutes. Just check it out. It's not going to do any harm. If you find that you don't like it, don't do it. But it's for you to try. It also depends on your consistency. So you have to put in effort. Like with a real person, developing a relationship with the divine is the same. Effort goes both ways. You have to put in effort, then you will experience grace, and that is without a doubt. So, it is my thought on Upanan. Yeah.
I want to ask you that at one point, just now you said that it is said in the scriptures that Upanayana Sanskar is a very important phase in anybody's life. I want to tell everyone who's hearing it that the various sadhanas given during Upanayana Sanskar, it is already available in the Sadhana app first. And second, why do you feel, Ashutosh, that women were kept away from Upanayana Sanskar? Firstly, I would like to divide it into another portion again. In the scriptures, are women told not to have Upanayana Sanskar done? And what made society banish women from this world of Upanayana Sanskar?
So I come from there's this tradition called the Gayatri Parivar. So I got my Upanan done from them. So they do Upanan Sanskar for women. Art of Living also does Upanan Sanskar for women nowadays. You can get it done. But if I look at it from an ancient perspective, I feel that there's no restriction as per in scriptures. If we look at the classical scriptures, and then if we shift our focus to the contemporary ones which were written maybe 300, 400 years ago, or maybe in our contemporary times, there's this resistance that we see against women doing the rituals and partaking in havans, and also around the Upanan Sanskar, because it is said that okay, if you have not done your Upanan, you don't have the right to do fire sacrifice, immediately eradicating women from doing havans.
We can say that Sadhana app is actually a boon for everyone, every Sanatani, and everyone who wishes to experience divine grace through Sanatana Dharma. Sadhana app is like that boon, and anyone can access any sadhana from anywhere as long as you have a device and internet connection. I want to ask you one thing. What do you mean by having a personal connection with the divine, and how do people develop it? For instance, with Sadhana app.
I feel in our culture, the way it is today, there is not a lot of emphasis on developing a personal bond from the very childhood. Our perception of God is something very grand, something very far away, something to fear from. How do we develop a bond with a person, a real person in real life? By calling them, by talking to them, just getting to know them. So the same is with the divine. There's this concept called the Navdha Bhakti in Sanatana Dharma, with 9 ways of developing bhakti in you. One of them is listening to the divine play. That is where the Puranic text, which require a lot of esoteric understanding as well. These tales of their grandeur and their nature. Also, just getting starting on a simple sadhana. If you like somebody, if you like a deity, you are attracted towards them. If you are attracted to the attributes, you are attracted to the form, whatever it is. Just starting a simple sadhana, just testing it out, testing your love for them. Does your mind really focus on that mantra? Is your mind really comfortable with it? And also, sadhana app makes it a lot easier. If we look at the conventional way, you finalize a deity, you find a good guru, you get initiated in a mantra, then you learn how to do that practice.
And it is all done in the app itself. You don't really need to, meet somebody or take somebody's opinion about it. You just can go along with this app in your own pace. I will also like to tell it to our audience that when we are doing a sadhana, even though we have an option to leave, it's better to just continue, keep going till the end. The shortest number of days that you can take up for any sadhana is, let's say, 3. Being disciplined for 3 days, devoting like a few minutes of the entire day for 3 days in a disciplined manner is not a very difficult task. Take short time frames to do sadhana and be disciplined in those days. There's so many people who have spoken about the magic of sadhana app. The entire sadhana, which people at one point used to travel so long to the Himalayas to meet one guru so that they could tell them about the sadhana, that is available right in your palms. Just give it some time. Personally, like I started doing a sadhana and I was not feeling very devoted to that particular deity. So in that case, I would like to tell the audience that you can listen to the stotras beforehand, you can listen to their stories, see what brings up that devotion in you, what ignites that devotion in you. And there's kavachams, there's so many things that you can have a connection with the divine and then go for the sadhana. You will feel that the connection has deepened. And even if you go for the sadhana without having a connection, if you give considerable amount of time to that sadhana, to that deity, to the worship of that deity, you will still feel a connection. So, Ashutosh, you wish to add something more for our audience, some last minute tip that you would like to give to our audience?
The last tip I would like to give is that consistency and discipline tops everything. If you really want to make a connection, you just need to sit there, avoid the distractions. You can maybe start with a minute. For maybe 5 days, you are doing it for a minute. Then after 5 days, you go with 2 minutes, and then you can slowly increase the pace as you find it comfortable. But staying at it, staying consistently at it, plays a huge role. In my experience, the divine loves that honesty, it loves that effort, and it will give you results in multifolds as compared to what you put in.
So, with this, we have come to an end of this session. I would really like to ask Ashutosh to chant the closing mantra.
Let's close our eyes for this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnmudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.
Okay.